I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we have to add a few things. We have a letter regarding vacation request that we're going to put under the road foreman's report. And I think that's all we had that we're going to add. So with that, we have the minutes of our January 3rd and January 10th meetings.
Were we all present, or should we vote on them separately?
Let's see, I think we were all here.
I would move approval of the minutes of January 3rd and January 10th.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Bills for payment, we have warrants 15 and 15P.
I will move that we approve warrants 15 and 15P.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Warrant 15 is for $148,942.50. And of that, there's some fuel payments, a tax refund, a school payment to the Dummerston School for $100,000. We have some utility bills, health insurance, our monthly rescue payment, and quarterly payment to the Wyndham Solid Waste Management District. So, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have no visitors. Under the road foreman's report, here we can slide that. Let's see, no, it's green, there we go. We have the certificate for mileage, certificate of highway mileage. We have to certify each year. Lee Chamberlain's looked this over and given it his approval.
Do you want to say how many miles of each class of road we have in Dummerston?
Let's see, class 2 we have 12.37, class 3 50.47, and state highway is 16.31 miles for a total of 79.155. We have for class 4 we have 3.3, and legal trails we have 1.6. Any more discussion?
I'll move that we approve and sign the 2018 certificate of mileage.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we can sign it, they only give us 3 lines, but I think we can fit all our names on that.
Before we hit that one,
Yeah.
can I just, because Lee, I'll just hit a couple of things.
Sure.
Because those guys started out at 4:30 this morning and they wrapped it up at 3:30 this afternoon, so that's why Lee's not going to be here. They were keeping one of our part-time guys out till 6 tonight just to keep the paved roads plowed and keep an eye on it. And just to let them know if anything comes up. And then Lee's just watching it, so they'll probably be in early tomorrow morning as well, is what he was saying. He's just kind of watching the weather right now. A couple things he mentioned. He is going to try to get the greater bid, as we talked about in the capital plan, out subject to funding, so we can have potentially some costs associated with the greater at the town meeting. So when we go to look at that in the capital fund. Looking at a John Deere and a Caterpillar are the 2 that he's looking at. And then also try to get whatever trade-in value, try to get notified of what his trade-in would be on that. And then just a couple other things he was working on as they go around. He's identifying where like a lot of ice spots where water is coming up under the roads, and that's where the problems are occurring right now. I think that's where he's identified about 10 to 12 of those where they're going to target for doing the under drains to the roadways for next summer when he gets when they get the weather for that one. I think that should be really what he and I talked about earlier. So just
Great.
a couple of updates.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
So we have a letter from one of the highway crew asking us about vacation time, or taking a vacation. Under the personnel policy, usually it's not usually, that's the supervisor's purview. So what would you like to do here?
So I guess just to get the issue, has everybody read the letter? So we had one town employee that was looking at one of the road crewmen to take a winter vacation. And when I spoke to Lee about that, I think the letter's here. I think the initial decision maker should never be the final decision maker. There should always be a recourse to appeal. You can't just have, whatever, carte blanche up there to say no. But I do think we need to look at, it's tough that you can't take a vacation in the winter. I think that's the circumstance we're under right now with a 4-man road crew in the winter we've had. So, I've talked to Lee about this, and we've tried to figure out how if we could get dedicated coverage for the time period that somebody was going to be gone, that might work out. But currently we don't have that. So I guess my going position is, I'm going to support Lee's decision on, right now that we can't afford to let someone take a vacation at this time of year. That makes sense?
Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, Lee knows what it takes to plow the roads, and our job is to make sure that the town residents are protected, and I would have a hard time, approving something that Lee is not in favor of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I agree with Hugh on both points. It's good that Lee doesn't have the weight on his shoulder of being the only one to say yes or no. That it comes to the select board if somebody wants to get another opinion. So I agree with that. I also agree that it's tough that our road crew can't really take a vacation in the winter because we don't have extra. But one of the benefits that I know that the road crew really appreciate is the flexibility in their job position to take time off for hunting, to take time off in the summer. There is the offer of flexibility at other times of the year. So this is the tough time, and we've had quite the winter already. So.
Okay, so, do you want to get back to Lee on this, or do you want to?
Sure, I'll be happy to go. I can give him a call tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, is there any sentiment different from what has been
No.
Maria and Joe? You haven't
No, I think
spoken
that
on
was
it.
well stated, both you and Hugh. I would concur.
Yeah, it's tough. I
Wish
mean,
we could help, but
Yeah.
If the coverage was there, it'd be different.
no.
So, I guess I don't think we need any motion or action on this. I mean,
No, it's a sentiment.
there's an appeal process, so to speak, and
We're
general
gonna
consensus is we support the decision based on what's going on.
Mhm.
So,
Okay,
I will get in touch with him.
all right, great, thank you.
And I'll try to talk to Les too when I'm up there.
Yeah, if you would
That's
do
great.
that.
I still have.
Okay, under correspondence for information, we had a letter about a PACIF grant program, and there's a letter, public warnings. Oh, yes, there was just information about posting warnings for public hearings. I'd asked for some information about that. Anything you want to discuss there? Under correspondence for discussion and/or action. A letter from the zoning administrator regarding mobile home ordinances. And this is a letter he wrote. There have been changes on the state level that make our mobile home ordinances that are on the books obsolete, or and so he's letting us know, but he's also letting the planning commission know, and so they would be the ones to actually look at the ordinances that we have and either revise them or strike them from the books, whichever is required. Have you heard about that yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, again, yeah.
So the planning commission will deal with this?
Yes, we're passing,
Mhm.
we're sending it to the appropriate
Mhm.
agency in town to deal with that. But he's just another indication that he's keeping his eye on what's going on. We got a follow-up letter from Wyndham Regional Commission regarding the hazard mitigation plan, and it refers to things that we must do in future years to keep current with the mitigation plan. And she included what she called a tracker, but when I tried to open it, I could not.
I couldn't either.
Yeah, so I sent a letter back to her asking, telling her that, and just asking if she could,
Put it in a different format?
yeah, so we could know what we're supposed to be doing.
Did that go to the select board? To the select board email? I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think it came,
I think so, 'cause I
yeah,
remember seeing
yeah,
it.
it's been in the packet for a while, I think.
But do we have, I guess I didn't see that email where I've never tried to open it, but obviously it doesn't work, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might work on your computer.
Yeah,
Um,
it's okay. Well, I will wait for an update.
Okay. So we should just keep that in mind. I sent that last week and haven't heard back from her, so we just need to keep on that so it doesn't fall off our radar. VLCT sent a notice to towns about Bill S97, and there was a hearing last Thursday, and this is about posting public notices on electronic media or news sites, and they were thinking this could be less expensive for towns than publishing public hearing notices or in the newspapers. I don't know what the newspapers think about this, but I could guess. But they were letting us know that, and if we wanted to contact our legislators to let them know what we thought, we could do that. Any thoughts? I don't know what happened at the hearing and if they're going to continue.
I mean, I guess I would think about it from the point of view of the people that we want to be reading the public notices and making sure that we're not creating a situation where somebody who's not on social media is not hearing about things. So
Right,
I would, yeah.
right. I'm not sure if social media is the right word to use. They were talking about electronic.
Electronically, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but even still, you need a computer.
Yes, right. Mhm.
And there are some people who don't use computers, so. I mean, as long as, and those same people may not read the paper, you know,
Right.
so.
I think that's what
It's
they're
not that
thinking.
the paper is the end-all and be-all of reaching people, but
Mhm.
that's what we want to be thinking about when we're thinking about rulings on public notices.
Mhm. So you want to just keep track
Yeah.
of this and see
Yeah.
where it goes from the hearing, and we'll just keep our eye on this. Let's see. moving on to new business. Oh, we have a budget. What do you like to do about that?
I would like to approve the budget that we just have gone over these last many weeks.
Okay.
Is that a motion, Jim?
Yes, I can consider that a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so this would include the municipal budget. It would include the highway budget. It would include the capital budget. It's for heavy equipment and major purchases of hardware. Along with kind of highway related, structures fund, which is for culverts and bridges. Anything, am I missing anything? Okay. So we've got a motion and a second. Oh, I should have said discussion. Any discussion?
I think we've had a lot of discussion.
Yeah. Right now, we're looking at for the municipal budget, a total of, let's see, $458,136, which $276,118 would be raised by taxes and $182,018 by non-tax revenue. The highway fund, we're adding another part-time person, along with some wage increases. And there are wage increases with the municipal budget also, but I'm looking at $528,595, which $400,073 would be raised by taxes and $128,522 by non-tax revenues. The structures fund, we're asking $10,000 to be raised by taxes. And the capital fund, we would be asking to raise $170,000 of that. And this year we have a grader that we'd like to purchase, or ask the voters if they would authorize purchasing a grader, and we would ask the voters to authorize the first of 5 payments towards a fire truck that is thought to cost $326,000. Any other discussion? Nobody wants to venture into the percentages, or if we're still working with that.
Still working on that.
Still working on that. Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to approve this budget. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, this is our budget. And we'll see about getting it posted as soon as possible. Let's see. We have articles for the warning for town meeting. The town meeting is going to be Tuesday, March 6th, starting at 10 a.m. There's an Australian ballot for officers and trustees and town clerk, town treasurer, and the moderator. And then we have our draft here of the budget items that I just mentioned. We have one petition that came in from voters, and this is petition, let's see, to be acted on town meeting warning And this is the Vermont's goal in the Comprehensive Energy Plan to achieve 90% of its energy from renewable sources by 2050. But is making insufficient progress towards that goal, so therefore be resolved that the town urges the state of Vermont to halt any new expanded fossil fuel infrastructure, including but not limited to oil or gas pipelines, firmly commit to at least 90% renewable energy by 2050 for all people in Vermont, with firm interim deadlines, and to ensure that the transition to renewable energy is fair and equitable for all residents and is environmentally sound. So that will be on the warning, in addition to the items that we have already. So, what would you like to do?
Go ahead.
Do we need to approve the draft of the,
Yes, this, and then it would not be a draft anymore.
okay.
Okay, do we need to read these, or can we all have
Do
them?
you
Can we
want
just
to go
make-
ahead? You want to read them, just for the public record?
Okay.
Will it get posted anywhere?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Where will it get posted?
It will get posted on our the town website. It actually gets published in the paper, paper of record. You know, I think it's not more than 2 weeks, but not less than so many days before town meeting.
But I think
Like,
you've addressed,
is there value in reading them?
yeah, I think you've addressed the financial highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to act on the auditor's report for town, see if the voters will grant tax exempt status to Green Mountain Camp for a period of 1 year, see if they'll grant tax exempt status to the Evening Star Grange. You know, we have the structures fund, 10,000, highway budget, general fund budget, capital fund, purchasing. We're going to ask the voters to purchase a grader, and we're going to ask them to purchase a fire truck that would then be leased to the West Dummerston Volunteer Fire Department. So that's pretty much it. And then this petition from residents on renewable energy goals.
Well, I will move that we approve the Articles 1 through 12 to include the petition that on the energy, approve the draft that we have at tonight's meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion. The deadline for petitions from the public is tomorrow at 3 p.m. So more could come in. So we would, if any more come in, then we would have to have a special meeting to add any petitions that come in to the warning. And we would have to do that probably either, tomorrow is Thursday, so we'd either do it Friday or towards the beginning of next week. So we can cross that bridge when we come to it, but, okay. So we've got a motion to approve this warning with the articles that we've had and the article that has been brought in. Any more discussion?
Do they have the specific wording for that?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah,
summarized some. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, there's our warning. Let's see. Okay, childcare, you have some childcare information for us.
I know it's in the folder, but so I did email the school principal, who apparently the school has actually, through their students, provided the childcare in the past, and they weren't able to do it last year. However, they are going to do it this year. So, but no infants or toddlers.
Just K through 6 or K through,
I want to. you know, I know with the letters
The
in there.
7th and 8th grader, yeah.
The 7th
I think
and 8th
K through
graders do
6.
it. So K through 6
Yeah.
would be the age group, so no infants or toddlers. And that will just be students who are at the town meeting, they'll have a room set aside like they've done in the past, and they will take care of the
Yeah,
details.
the 7th and 8th graders have to be there.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I guess that, if that seems to, I mean, we've got that taken care of. I mean, the school will take care of it.
Good.
Unless we want to try to dig deeper into additional for younger kids, I think we're good.
Okay.
And I have not yet, just because they've been busy and I've missed leave, but we have time to, and I will still talk to him about the parking
Yep,
issue.
okay.
So we can.
To leave parking spaces right outside the school for people who are just coming to vote.
Right.
So they can come in and out easily.
Right. You know, and hopefully people who need that, you know, that service, not, you know, not everybody, but people who
Yeah.
can't walk from the parking lot.
Okay, good. So this is an item, the next one, that we traditionally forget about until we get a reminder from Ruth Barton. And I don't want that to happen, so lunch for a town meeting traditionally has been prepared by members of the Grange. And would you like to ask them to do lunch this year?
Would you like a motion?
I'd say we could just do the sense of the meeting.
Yeah. I think that'd be great. If they'd like to do it.
Oh,
They
okay.
make a good lunch.
Yeah, they make a good lunch, yes. All right. Who'd like to, anyone want to give Ruth a call? or-
Is Ruth the contact person or is it Larry?
Larry Lynch, I think we could
I'll call
probably
Larry.
go right directly to Larry Lynch. Okay, great. Good, well, that's
A relief, huh?
a relief, yes. So, we have, okay, that's further on the agenda. We have some, traditionally, they used to have, I don't know how long the tradition is, but they used to have candidates night where any candidate running for office on town meeting day would go to the elementary school in the evening, and their spouse and
Friend.
would go
Yeah.
and listen to a speech, and we dropped it for a few years, but we started it again. And with BCTV filming, we just started one of our regular meetings with a mini candidates night and invited all the candidates. You were one of the candidates.
I
Thought we
remember
had a dedicated night that night.
Yeah, and it was, we held it in the basement of the church, so it was televised, so viewers around the world could see. Well, we had, maybe because it was a smaller space, it seemed like a bigger turnout. Trying to fill the gymnasium was a tough row to hoe back then. So if you want, we could schedule part of our regular meeting on February 28th to have a candidates night.
Yeah.
And as candidates bring in their petitions, we can let them know to start working on their stump speech. And
We don't want to scare anybody away.
all right, it's an exaggeration. No, it's very casual, very friendly, just a chance to for voters to see who's running.
And you can email in questions too.
You can
and-
email.
and someone
Yes, we
will ask a
had
question
someone
for you.
from who's vacationing halfway around the world who
Yes.
sent in a list of questions to be asked.
So we would do that on the 28th.
Actually, I'm going to be a candidate.
You are,
Yeah,
that's
I'm working
right.
on my
So,
speech right now.
Yeah.
so on the 28th of February, we would meet at the church, and then would we have our regular select
Yes.
board meeting following that
Yes.
at the church?
Yes. That's how I would think this would go.
Okay. So our select board meeting would be a little bit later, because this says 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Or we start at 6 and have the candidates at 7. We could,
A lot of nerves there. I'd let the candidates get it taken care of first, right?
yeah?
Is that a time limit?
What?
Is that a time limit for the candidates?
Depends on how many there are, huh?
Right. I mean, I don't think someone who's running unopposed needs to spend more than, say, 45 minutes on a speech, right? I'd
I
say,
was thinking like 1 minute.
yeah, I'd say 1 minute would be good. I have an attention span of,
Yeah.
right around that level, so,
No, I think that they should be able to speak for a few minutes then.
Yes,
okay,
of
a few
course.
minutes, but,
But what are we thinking, half an hour for the whole thing?
yes,
Mhm.
I'd say so.
that-
6 to 6:30?
Yep,
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay,
At the church on the
Yep.
28th.
right. Do you have we both have sheep, so, do you have a crook, a shepherd's crook that we should, because I can bring mine, but.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah, okay, so
I
in
don't-
case
I don't use
in
them.
case someone goes on
Yeah.
a little too long.
So we're gonna be lambing any day now, so we need to probably.
Okay,
So I'll, let's see, I should be here. I'll moderate that.
okay. Okay,
Keep the timeline.
let's see. Now, we can, the question we've been talking about all year, or one of them, has been how do we increase participation in town, town meeting or issues regarding the town. And, we talked about going to Australian Ballot, and surprisingly, we didn't get a lot of feedback from people. We could just, from the floor, ask people at town meeting what their opinion was, a non-binding vote. But maybe getting, because we have Australian Ballot going on at the same time, we have many more people going, people at town meeting are voting, and people just dropping by to vote are there. So we could maybe get a little bit better opinion if we asked it as part of our Australian Ballot, or if we had a separate just opinion little piece of paper. Would you do you think we should move to Australian Ballot to vote on town budgets, or a simple yes or no? And so we could do that.
Can we get it on the ballots in themselves?
I think it would complicate the ballot. Because this would be a non-binding, really an opinion poll. It
Yeah.
might be better to have just a separate piece of paper, separate from the Australian ballot.
Just for clarity, you're thinking, is that why? Just to,
To get a broad,
no, but I mean, not put it on the ballot,
yeah,
just for clarity, so.
Just for
people don't think
clarity.
You're voting on it?
yeah.
But you could, when people are given the ballots, they could probably be given a separate piece of paper.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's what Zeke's saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sort of like when you
Mhm.
vote for justice of the peace, you get a
Yeah.
separate
Mhm.
ballot. So this would be a separate one.
I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. I don't know where we'll go. I think eventually we're gonna go to that. It may not be this year or next year or 5 years, but, a good portion of the state has already gone to that. We're just under 10% people show up to talk, on the floor of town meeting. And it's a great opportunity for people to speak, but we get, closer to 30% that come to vote, and we're gonna get a larger representation by an Australian ballot. you know, greater participation, I guess. If you're actually looking at participation in the democratic process, you know, if more people are participating, you know, by being able to go to a polling station from 7 to 7, vice, you know, well, I think we're gonna start the town meeting at 1, but we're not sure, it might be at 12, because, you know, how that's gonna go. I would be curious, you know, I don't think it's gonna, again, it's probably not gonna happen in the next couple of years, but I'd like to at least continue the discussion, although we didn't get far less, you know, responses, you know, last year when we first started talking about it, or I first started talking about it, so I'd be in favor of that.
I think it would be helpful, I mean, I think the idea of having a separate sheet of paper for a non-binding survey vote would be useful. I think it would also be helpful to have a handout that talks about the advantages, disadvantages, the, you know, pros and cons, what other towns say, or, you know, what, I mean, because for me, I mean, for someone who hasn't really thought about it, they might vote,
Right.
and it's, what is it based on?
Right.
You know, like this much information. So I think the point now is to educate ourselves about it. And town meeting's a great time to educate people. And there's two ways there. One is, you know, if you voted on it, it makes you pay attention to it more, even non-binding. But it's also a chance at town meeting to have something to offer people that gives a little more information about it.
Okay, so we want to keep working on this?
Well, can we decide that we want to at least do some kind of a
Paper
Paper
opinion poll?
opinion
Yes,
poll
we can do the
with,
Dole, Senator Dole,
what's the process for that, Zeke?
Doyle, right. We can just,
There's no
print up
procedure?
Yeah, there's no procedure we have to follow. It's just, we can go ahead and do this, an opinion poll, and we can talk it up as much in the next few meetings, so it maybe gets put in the newspaper and VCT covers the issue, and we talk it up, so at our candidates night we can mention it also.
Will it be just a yes or no?
That's what I would think, and yeah.
I'm sure we'll
if you
have
want to
people-
have maybe,
Yeah.
yes or no.
Need
that's-
to know more?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good point, you know,
right.
just to walk into that, I mean, you're right, a lot of
Yeah.
people are unfamiliar with, you know, a lot of people when they hear Australian ballot, they're like, what are we gonna
Right.
go to Australia? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of, that's not a common term that,
Right.
you know, people are
That's
not really,
Right.
you know, used to hearing
Right.
sometimes, so they may not realize that that's what we're using when we walk into the, you know, the secret Australian ballot is what we're doing, but, yeah, just to kind of get that cold, you're right, you may not get a good representation, or if someone doesn't understand it, you know, generally if you don't understand something, you're gonna be opposed to it.
Right, you're gonna just automatically say no.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
Well, it could be yes, no, need to have more information. You know, and then
Yeah,
if somebody
no,
isn't
If
just.
you don't have an opinion, I guess maybe we should have undecided,
No opinion?
since that's what we're looking for. What do people want to do?
Yeah.
What are their opinions on this?
as long as it's clear to the public that it's, really is just an opinion poll.
Right, well,
It's
and
not-
that's why I think his idea of having it be something
It's
separate.
completely separate from the
Yeah.
ballot,
Yeah,
yes.
So maybe we should
Big
talk to
bold
Lori
letters,
about that.
non-binding
Yeah.
opinion,
Yeah, right.
oh,
You know.
opinion, right.
clear.
Good,
Yeah, and I think having a don't know, no opinion is a good, having
Mhm.
three,
Yeah,
Well, it would indicate how informed
yeah.
right,
or not informed
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Moving on, unfinished business. We have an update to the personnel policy.
Yes, and I'll start with an apology that I expected to have a printed sheet to hand everybody.
I would have lost it by now.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But I think I can make this pretty simple, and we went over it last meeting. So, in our benefits section of our personnel policy under health insurance, we talked about adding a sentence that would give the town clerk full benefits. Currently, our personnel policy says that someone who works part-time is eligible for benefits on a prorated basis, but the town clerk is at 30 hours and we give her full benefits. So we'd like to make that clear in the policy. So I've added a sentence that says, the exception is the town clerk who at 30 hours per week is eligible for full benefits. So it just makes it clear. And then the second addition is a sentence that makes it clear that a person holding multiple positions can add the hours of those multiple positions to reach the 24-hour eligibility requirement for the VEMR's program, which is the Vermont Municipal Retirement System, of which the town is part of, and anyone who works more than 24 hours is automatically enrolled in that program. So I'd like to add a sentence saying an employee or elected official holding multiple positions shall combine their hours to meet the 24-hour eligibility requirement. And so that covers both hired and elected town employees. And it makes it clear that anybody holding multiple positions needs to combine their hours, and that way it's not up to the employee whether they want to or not. Because that was a suggestion from VLCT that it's helpful if a town makes it clear whether they do it or not, so that you're not doing it one way for one employee and another way for a different employee. So if I could have a motion to add those two sentences to our benefits policy, then I will make these changes and send the updated document to the town clerk for filing in our files and she'll print out copies that we will then sign to.
Okay. I'll move that we accept the changes to the town clerk eligible for benefits at 30 hours and the changes to the hourly, or combining hours to indicate VEMR's eligibility for town employees or officials.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, good. Thank you,
you.
Carolyn.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. So now, part of the program I like the best where we change
Oh, yeah.
to
Go for it.
the liquor commission.
So I move that we adjourn the select board meeting and convene the liquor control board.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're liquor commissioners right now. Under other business. All right, we have application and checks from the Circle K over on Route 30. And this is a liquor license renewal application. and it seems all in order. What would you like to do?
I'd move that we approve the renewal of the liquor license for the Circle K on Route 30.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. I thought it was
Opposed?
Irving's, no?
Oh, no, it says Circle K.
Circle K,
Yep.
okay, yeah.
All right, so we need to sign this. If you want to go ahead and approve that, we'll let them know. Any other business?
Should we, I move we,
Oh, yeah.
what do we
Any
close the
other
liquor?
Oh, wait,
liquor
wait.
license
Okay.
information?
We
I
close
was
the
going
liquor
home a
commission
liquor commissioner instead of a select board.
You forgot which hat you had.
Yeah, I
and
did.
reconvene
Where's your
the
hat?
select board.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Glad someone's paying attention.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
Oh, we
Okay, want to vote
approved it
again?
before it was seconded.
All those in favor again?
Aye.
All right. All right.
See, this is why Rich likes to come to this
That,
meeting.
yes, being a liquor commissioner just goes to my head. It's, just hard to keep track of the seconds. And any other business, now that we're back
As the
as
select board.
sober select board members?
And you're just gonna, I guess, well, I'll just mention, so we know that on the 2/14, when we have the public hearing at 7 and our select board meeting at 6, that'll be at the community center. in
Yes.
Dummerston.
And we have to warn that at least 2 weeks before the hearing. So, and I sent a draft of that around. I can send it again and I'll make sure it says Community Center in West Dummerston instead. And so we'll have our regular
To
meeting
make sure to read that.
over in West Dummerston. And starting at 6, we'll recess for the public hearing at 7, and then reconvene our select board meeting. The town plan, there are copies available at the town office, and it's also on the town website. If you go to the Planning Commission website, I believe that's where it's to be found. So, any other business?
I move we adjourn.
All right,
I'll second that.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we just have to make sure everybody's signed.
We all need to sign.